Now, for some bizarre reason, you all seem to really like my videos on cooking stuff. So what I'm going to do on this one is do really tasty porridge. So I think you Americans call it oatmeal, but porridge is what we call it in the UK. And it's basically where you get either milk or water and you mix oats in and you cook it till the oats go kind of fluffy and really tasty. The problem is that how a lot of people do porridge, and how I used to do porridge and it was awful, is they just put it in the microwave. They put a bit of milk in a bowl with some oats in the microwave and they do that. Believe me, that is not good porridge. All the instant porridges tell you to do that. It will not taste good. This takes a little bit longer to do, but believe me, it's actually really nice to eat. So I'll go through the ingredients. Obviously oats, that's the most important thing. You cannot make porridge without oats. Full fat milk. In general, I find the more fat in the milk, the better it tastes. Olive spread. So this is basically Aldi's rip-off of Bertolli. I'm pretty sure this is an Aldi one. I'm just looking at the label to see if it has the Aldi thing on it anyway. Yes, Aldi stores. But the interesting thing of this actually has more olive oil in it than proper Bertolli. So it's both cheaper and it tastes better than real Bertolli, which is funny. And golden syrup, but you can use honey or whatever you want. You don't even have to add stuff like that. You can even add Nutella, that works quite well and stuff like that. But this is just how I'm going to do this one. Golden syrup and a bit of butter basically, or butter substitute. So let's get started. Okay, so first things first, you add the milk. Now I never measure it out, I just basically know how much I'm going to use. So I put quite a bit of milk in. So there we go, that will do for the milk. So now the milk's in, I'll put that back in the fridge obviously, so it has the least chance of going off possible. Right, so we've got the milk in. Next what we're going to do is add the oats. I'm not going to actually turn the gas on yet for the hob, because basically I want to get all the ingredients in it sort of mixed, a bit like when I do the flapjack before heating it up, because otherwise you have to work faster. So I've got one of these, I think it was from a protein shake measurer thing that I always use for oats. So I'm going to at least do 3 full ones of that, and I think in theory it works out to be about 30 grams every time you do one of these scoops. I've done about 90 grams there, so tell you what, I'll just do a bit more, and that's basically 100 grams of oats, which is 400 odd calories I think. So next what I do before I add any other ingredients is I'm just going to get my stirrer, which is all important, push this down into there and stir this around a bit. This way all the oats start to absorb the milk. Now this is another one of the problems you'll have if you do instant porridge, is that it will be really inconsistent, because some oats will really dry out and go hard, and others will be too soppy because it's kind of, you know, had all the milk on them. So when you do it this way, all the oats are going to actually, you can probably see from that, you know, going to actually properly absorb all of the milk. Right, now what I'm going to do is add a bit of the Bertolli substitute, the olive spread. But any sort of butter or margarine would be fine for this, so I'm not going to be shy with this. I'm going to add quite a lot, because that's really going to nicely affect the taste. I'll just leave that sitting on the edge for now, because what that will do is obviously as soon as we turn the gas on and it starts to heat up, that will just slide in. Right, so that's the Bertolli added, and now it's the time for the golden syrup. So I'm just going to add this, but as said, remember you can literally do this however you want. This is just how I do mine, that I really like the taste of. I like to experiment a bit with these as well, you know, trying less or more butter, less or more golden syrup, you know, Nutella, stuff like that. I generally use the cheapo brands of stuff as well. This is actually the proper golden syrup, I think that's probably because it was on offer. So I end up normally putting quite a lot of this in, as you can see. So yeah, that's full of sugar and all sorts, but whatever, I can't ever seem to put on weight because I'm chronically ill, even if I want to, so I might as well treat myself. Right, okay, so that's all of that. So let me just stop the video now, I'll put all the other things away in the cupboard, and then we will begin heating it up and stirring it. Okay, so we'll put the gas on. Now I find with this, I kind of like having it on the middle of the gas ring sort of setting, but it really doesn't matter, to be honest. I found that, you know, if you do it slower, the thing is, the higher the gas, the faster you have to stir it, because if you stop stirring it, you risk burning some of it. So if you've got on a lower gas setting, obviously you don't have to stir it as much. And in a moment, hopefully the Bertolli will start, or the cheapo Bertolli, olive spread, whatever you want to call it, margarine, will start sliding into the actual thing, because the outside of the saucepan will get hot, then everything will slide in. But what you'll probably be able to see, maybe, hopefully, I don't know, is that the actual colour now of the milk is actually kind of gone a lot more sort of, I guess, cream coloured, maybe you'd say slightly brown, because obviously the golden syrup is now mixed evenly into it. Again, if you do instant oats in the microwave, the issue is you add the golden syrup once you're finished, and it's never consistent because you're adding it to the top, so that, again, the oats on the top are going to be really, really sweet, and the stuff at the bottom isn't going to be. So there's one big bit of Bertolli look that's there, so I'll just keep stirring it. So far, this is very similar to doing the flapjack. You're basically just stirring everything together in the pan. The difference is that once it's fit, we basically cook everything in the pan or the saucepan. We don't have to put it in the oven or anything afterwards. And I am using the cheapest oats I can get. I'm using supermarket own brand kilo of oats, which is generally only about £1 from most supermarkets. And they taste absolutely delicious when you do this. There is no reason to spend like £4 to £5 on a kilo of oats. Just literally buy the supermarket's cheapo brands. If you're using them like this, you are not going to notice any sort of difference whatsoever. You don't need these ultra refined, you know, cut oats or whatever. Right, I'm just going to try and get that off the edge there and push it in. There we go. That's most of it anyway. Now I can start stirring this in. You can probably see now and again, you'll see a big bit that's not quite, you know, dissolved yet. Let me just heat that up. Well, melted, I guess would be the word, not dissolved. But yeah, I'm just going to turn the heat on slightly more now. I've got all the ingredients sort of mixing in. What you don't want to see it doing really is bubbling, almost like it's boiling. That means you've got it too hot and you're not stirring it fast enough. So yeah, all I'm literally going to be doing is this for a few minutes. But you can probably see the colour of that, maybe, because I'm saying I know that's one of the things where the camera's not as good at picking up colours, especially if you've not got the best lighting, because I can't really set up my softbox in here. You can probably see that's going a really buttery brown sort of colour now, which looks really nice. Some people be going, oh, that looks fatty and disgusting and horrible, but to me that looks lovely. There's nothing wrong with fat as long as you exercise enough and whatever else. And as I said, because I'm chronically ill with ulcerative colitis, I tend to waste away anyway. So, you know, I need as many calories as possible. So, often I'm not that healthy about it, and often I seem to be in the best health myself physically when I'm eating, you know, lots of fried food and whatever else. So, you know, I'm just going to go to say. But I'll be going for a walk later on today and everything as well anyway. But yeah, don't put this much butter in if you're overweight and you're wanting to lose weight. Don't use full fat milk either for it. You can literally do porridge by getting water and putting the oats in, but that's going to be very bland and boring. And as you can probably see, that colour is really nice looking now. Problem as well is the back screen on this camera isn't the best for seeing what the true colours of the video look like. Now what you'll notice as it cooks, and this is definitely what you want to notice, is that what will begin to happen is that it kind of gets a bit thicker and goopier. That's what you want. You kind of want this gungy porridge. I mean, maybe if you like sort of watery porridge, if that's your taste, then yeah, you can stop cooking it earlier. But how I like the porridge is when it's kind of, the oats have absorbed as much milk as they're going to absorb. It's kind of got goopier and stickier, and it's kind of, you know, got more of a thick texture to it. Okay, so what we can see now where it's bubbling is that's where it's getting a bit too hot, so I'm just going to turn the gas down slightly, and I'm going to stir quickly. But it's getting to the constituency, or consistency now, whatever the word is for it, what I actually want from the porridge. I'm just going to stir it for a bit longer and make sure it's all evenly done. You might be able to hear as well, it's sort of bubbling a bit. But yeah, that's getting to the texture I really want now. And that smells absolutely delicious. It's got that lovely buttery, sugary smell. Yeah, you can see that there. What I'll do in a minute, once I finish stirring this, is I'll pour it into a bowl and you can see me eat it, so you can see that I'm not actually grimacing and, you know, going, ugh. That it is actually really good porridge. You know, that I'm not having you on with this. That, you know, I do absolutely deliciously love this sort of stuff. Like I said, oats are a really good survival food in the sense that you can buy them super cheap and they last for ages, especially if they're stored in the original like vacuum packed bags they come in. Being able to buy a kilo worth of oats for, you know, £1 is brilliant. It's the same with rice and a lot of other things like that. If you're on a budget, you really can get good food like that. Right, that's getting very hard to stir now, so I think that's just about done. So let's switch the gas off. Stir it just a little bit more, and then I'll pour it out into a bowl. Right, and there you go. There's the porridge in the bowl. Looks delicious. I'll just get myself a spoon out. And I'm also just going to wait a minute for it to cool down slightly before I eat it, because I don't want to burn myself. But there you go, that's the sort of texture of it. That's how I really like porridge. That kind of thick, creamy sort of texture to it. That means the oats will be really soft, not powdery at all. Because that's one of the things as well with instant porridge, is some of the oats tend to taste really powdery again because they've not absorbed enough of the liquid that they're soaking in. Some people say you need to soak porridge oats overnight in milk. You really don't. If you follow this method, within a few minutes you've made some really good porridge. So I'm just going to wait a couple of minutes now for that to cool down to the point where I don't burn myself, and then I will actually prove to you that it tastes good by eating it and not being disgusted. Okay, so time for the moment of truth. Now hopefully it's not too hot because I've given it a couple of minutes, but I'll blow on it. I know some people find that absolutely disgusting when people blow on food, but if it's your own germs in your mouth or it's going into anyway, it's not going to make a difference, is it? Right, so... But yeah, smell is good. Although it loses some of the smell once it's in this sort of stage, because it smells more when you're actually mixing it in the bowl, but... damn good. So yeah, if you want porridge that tastes as good, very simple to make porridge like this. Sorry, rude to talk with your mouth open, isn't it? I'm going to be demolishing this pretty quickly in the moment when I turn the camera off. Yeah, I think I've literally shown you how to do it in the video, so there you go. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. Hopefully nobody's going to complain, oh, why, you're not cooking and stuff 93, why are you making these videos? But when I occasionally do videos like this of stuff I can actually cook and it tastes nice, people seem to enjoy them. Especially when it's stuff made from cheap ingredients. So there you go. If you want to make some really, really tasty porridge or oatmeal, follow these steps.